Hi, everyone. Welcome to White Noise. My name is Robyn, and I'm your host today, along with Summer, who made the trip, which is so exciting. We are here for an extra special event today. It's our feature event for the month. We kind of had two features this month, though, which was fun and unexpected. We hosted Mind Magazine earlier in the month, their launch party. So thank you, Mind Magazine, for coming out here and sharing this new amazing creative work with the community, by and for the community, which is awesome. And today we are here with a poet, printmaker, and then kind of like 50 other different things. Also, my bestie, Cole Solis Jativa, who is our featured performer tonight. I'm pulling up my phone because I'm reading her bio, even though I shouldn't have to do that. I should have had this memorized. But that's okay. I already know all this, but I'm just gonna... She wrote it really specifically, and I want to honor that for her. So Cole Solis Jativa is an Ecuadorian interdisciplinary artist with a specialization in printmaking and poetry. Currently, she is pursuing an MFA in printmaking and is environmentally conscious and sustainably focused. She embraces the dance between poetry and visuals. Her latest work, Sheathed by the Wing of an Albatross, is a limited edition of 6 9-print, 9-poem artist book that deconstructs the psychological turmoil found in children of immigrated individuals like herself through storytelling. She has had her poetry published in several literary journals and magazines, and my dad's calling me. Sorry, Dad. Thank you, Cole, for coming out here and being so open to performing at White Noise. I feel like this has been a long time coming, but I have seen Cole through the whole process of her making this book, which has been such a privilege for me. And if you're extra curious, before/after hearing her perform, we just did a podcast a few days ago, which is on the Green Kill Sessions YouTube page. And I posted about like 7 clips of it on our Instagram page, which is White Noise GK. I can't believe I remembered all that. So, without further ado, because I know you guys are just shaking in your seats right now, welcome to the stage, Cole Solis Jativa.
That's good. It's fine. Hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming out. Thank you, Robyn. Thank you, David. Thank you, Summer. It's an honor to be here, and I'm very excited to share this work with you. Also, thanks, Mom, for coming out. You did, I think, a fine job raising me. And this book is kind of celebrating that and the journey. So this is, I guess it's like a book of prints as well. So I'm kind of going to do like a little, read, show you the art kind of moment. I don't know. But yeah, I guess let's get started. This is Sheathed by the Wing of an Albatross, the cover. This is the digital copy of the book because there's 6 of its kind. I didn't want to bring it out here. It's a little precious to me, I suppose. But these aren't. These are also for sale if you're interested. Okay, let's get started. To the architect of my being, my mother. To the foundation of my building, my brother. And to the cement that kept us together all this time, my father. Espero que el polvo cósmico te esté tratando bien. I hope the cosmic dust is treating you well. Some days she was a virago trotting through the landslides of corruption. Other days she felt like the non-calcified goo occupying another being's shell. Oh, I guess I'll also mention that I used a typewriter to type all of these poems, which is why they were scanned images. It helps, I suppose. The aesthetic or whatever. Nurturing a concrete garden. The concrete box on 109th was made of primitive matter. Spores festered in a corner of apartment 2. They gravitated towards survival. Endurance was the oxygen absorbed in their gills. Jeopardizing sanity for sanctification, pain nurtured like a cognitive fertilizer. They mix sand and aggregate, cement and water, concrete as a fuzzy blanket. Shakur wrote about roses that grew from concrete. And as organic matter does, they ripened at their own pace. The juice from their soft bruises deliquesced into their path. The primitive matter seeped from the ashes of a soft made hard substance. Adversity spread the spores into pigments that painted their canvas. And that's the first place we immigrated to, in Corona, Queens, or my rendition of it. Sudoku. A dose of unwarranted anecdotes. My mother and father of kids condemned to alienhood. Serving drinks to exile, carefree individuals until the sun decided if it would rise that day. The dissonant hum of disparity orchestrated the alien's disposition. She mastered the art of painting over black smog. I know that because I was smiling anyway. As summer presented itself, susurrations by enthralled kids saturated the room, whispers of impending trips in other countries or sleepaway camps. I lathered those fairy tales with authentic Ecuadorian food carts and trade rides to the World Trade Center. The cobbler across the hall mended my soul. He would say 1 to 9, no repeats in box nor line. That's Sudoku. I don't know if you can see it too well, but...
We handed out some books.
Oh, great. Read along. Awesome. Love that. Okay. Oh. Wait, this page was not printed on here. I'm gonna skip that one. Okay, Indigneal Trace. Like the exoskeleton carved in chert, I am filled with remnants of rock. Barely whole, but rather a particle of green kyanite embedded in a permeable moon. Held by twine, a marionette is paraded and raptured by undulating tides. Like sediments weather and erode across the ocean floor, we are infinite. And like annelids doused in amber or selenite covered in dust, we are alone. "3 Days of Polyphemus Moth. You either died upon my departure, if not, a day or two after. 1. A cabin quivered in fear. Thunder rattled the receptacle like a cub convulses presence under conifers. 2. A walking menagerie of Long Island Homo sapiens scum frolic amongst crass eyes selling Virgin Mary candles. 3. Thanking the moon for its vital property, 2 girls proposition a fire to rise, like Pungi, where a cobra is hypnotized by the charmer and its extension. The fire bellows long-winded purrs. Your fuzzy-eyed ellipse formed the timid smile of your hind wings. You inherited martyrship, became the guardian of our wooden haven, and our secrets, they died with you. Rehearsal of the mundane. I can still hear the soporific waves. The ritual. AC kept off to listen to the harmonic polyphony of water folding over itself like kneading dough. An intimate serenade. In my cabin, I would slither through the sliver of my sliding door. The sight. Ambiguous water dancers rendering anomalies in the sea. Our moon infiltrates in its full potential, and the night speaks of configured truths, like the shadows in my chest speak the ineffable. A cradle ruminating on the precipice of a low-lit cavity. The truth. Microsystems of big boats, guest-to-denizen ratios climbing 2.4 to 1. The lonely ship, its cavities, and a mass exodus of tourists disembarking from a fortnight of revelry. Sardines in a tin can sent back to second nature. Staggering decline in double file lines, descending ramps, luggage telling us to hurry. Carrying the melodies of waves like a lost conch. The aquatic antihero, also known as my mom. The aquatic antihero of my dream state occasionally sways me out of circumstantial panic, but usually it's lethal and the catalyst for my expiration. I suspect it will only get worse, all because I had to see Pulicino's Cove so bad I almost drowned in the Blue Lagoon. Swimming against rough water, exerting every muscle into focus. A rusty engine choking on the stark, salted embrace of the Mediterranean. Glimpse of light with a dose of song-like laughter, familiar only to me. Paddling by, I see my mother. Dear Atropos, I walked the line before I spoke to the doula of death. She told me the gods started placing bets on when I'd become an adrenaline junkie. At first, it seemed like Russian roulette, and the probability was in my favor, or maybe in a past life I was a baker for the gods of karma. Did Lachesis look at the chamber and add another one? I walked the line before I spoke to the doula of death. When virus abandoned fetus, they said I must be lucky. Clotho must have worked overtime when I was in the womb. Peterskill, where I got tricked by wet rock. In and down with an inundated pack. Adrenaline appeared and I reached for her hand. The conserved momentum of a 6 a.m. symbiosis when a truck got frisky with my bike. I walked the line before I spoke to the doula of death. I've danced with you, Atropos, our torsos tethered by thread. And this is the last poem in the collection. Forget Me Not. The moon is tucked under fog tonight, and I cannot see where the water ends and the stars begin. I walk over the crib's ledge alongside an albatross. I've done the pilgrimage to Lethe, where the bucolics are rings of fire and scalding waterfalls. I've tried guzzling the running tides in hopes of igniting a dossier of memories. Selective nightmares, where the only outcome is materialized forget-me-nots in a flock of albatross. Rather, a Korean of albatross and tiny blue flowers standing tall screaming, forget-me-not. Sanguine endings are not possible without the shadows that guide you. I looked over the crib's ledge, sheathed by the wing of an albatross. And an epigraph to send you on your way, or I guess into the open mic. The moonlight is shattered by stars, and as I desire to become one of them, I consider death and her role in the making of fire. Thank you, everyone.
I have to say, it's crazy how many times I've heard those poems, but I literally still get shivers down my spine.
I have an albatross tattooed on my back and a ring of forget-me-nots on my thigh, so
You guys are clearly...
feel you deeply today.
Yeah.
Deeply and truly.
Thank you so much. That was truly magical. I'm so grateful to be able to hold this stage for you, and as my best friend and as my kindred spirit, I think there's no other person I would have wanted to be here performing tonight. on this insane week.
Makes it all worth it.
It makes it all worth it. It truly
so worth
does. Especially that your mom could be here, because I also love your mom so much. Yeah. Any other thoughts?
Those were beautiful poems. I really liked your like nods to all these different kind of mythologies that exist, like not just the obvious ones, but also like the notion of the albatross and all of that kind of symbology that comes with it. I enjoyed all of the poems. They were really beautiful, and it was a really like tasteful, like well curated collection. It was a beautiful book. So bravo! Thanks for sharing it with us.
That means a lot coming from Summer. Yeah, I mean, you know, we're all feeling the same things, I think. But I'm glad that Philip suggested to pass around copies of the book. I think it really helps to see it because it is such a visual piece. All of the poems are clearly paired with the prints that Cole made, and she didn't mention, but each copy is $15, which is pretty reasonable considering she put in like literally years of work into this.
Well, can I say something actually?
Yeah.
Did everyone not get a poem for the fish? Because I guess it was a misprint. So just take the book.
Well, she can say that, but I'm telling you to pay her $15.
Support your local writers.
Yeah, come on, support your local writers. But without further ado, we're gonna hop right into the open mic because it is white noise. That's what we do here.
We try.
And we're gonna keep meditating on what we just heard too throughout this. Hold that as kind of your shining star throughout your performances. I sure will. So first up to the list is Velvet Moon. Welcome to the stage.
was great. Thank you so much. I hope we hear you guys again sometime soon, ideally. Help me welcome our next performer, Philip.
But I really think the next time you present, particularly if it's in an art gallery, you should adorn the walls with the original. Just suggestion. And price them accordingly, preciously price them, you know. It's nice to be here. So I think it's been said that every poem is confessional. I like to think that this poem is meta-confessional. The clown at the chalkboard. The clown at the chalkboard is writing. He picks words one by one from a hat, with his eyes closed, with one hand behind his back. No one is looking. In his hand, the chalk is thinning. Around his floppy feet, dust collects like tide. Once a girl was looking. From his eyes, he pulled flowers for her wanting. He wanted to write her wanting. Each word releasing something, a bubble, a breath, an angel. These were not ordinary words. There are no ordinary words, only ordinary ways of speaking, like with your mouth closed, around a piece of gum, with a tongue that twists, through teeth that wobble. Still, the clown is writing. He plays the metaphor game. Protect yourself. This dust can choke. The girl is done looking. She is done with mime and prank, paper flowers and useless guns. The clown at the chalkboard keeps writing. Yeah. What a happy poem that one is. This is even happier. You know, so Robyn was saying she's feeling out of sorts, and with what's going on in the world today, it's, I think, impossible not to feel out of sorts. This is a poem that speaks to the madness, I guess. It's titled, "The End of Now." What today is this that hasn't any name like Thursday or Shabbat? What today is this that slips like spilling smoke, leaves sun no rise, day no break, noon is done, set unseen, only gray, an endless drip, an endless cloud. There are no seasons now. All the tales have ended. April is no longer cruel. She sleeps indifferent in the alley. And Tuesday's child, once so filled with grace, now abandoned by careless angels. There is no tomorrow. The sun will not come out. Annie will stay an orphan. The tide has crested. The Chevy's bottomed out. Reverse no longer works. Now is done. There'll be no sequel. The beauty sleeping has slipped to coma. The handsome prince stillborn. This will be a long war, an endless war. And what today is this that hasn't any name like Thursday or Sabbath? Who's got the next dance? Who knows the next number? When did all the people leave? Where was I when all this happened? Where were we? While outside, people mass, in step, always in step. They raise flags, salute slogans, and collect what they call right. There is goose in their step. They've taken time and sealed it in a box. Mother, my tongue is numb. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And this is a wacky, thank you. Yeah, hate applauding for something like that. Thank you, though. You're generous. Tomorrow's the Poepathon up in Woodstock, and there's room in there for walk-ins, so if you're so inclined, at the library, I'll be hosting from 11 till 4, and I think Bruce and Joanne are in there. We'll be there, maybe. I don't know. Maybe some others of you. This is a crazy thing, and I don't know if I'm going to read it right, but it's a big run-on sentence. It's called One Wrong Turn. So you're driving down a road, and you're not thinking about too much and all, except driving down this road, and everything's fine and all, and then you realize, gee, I've been on this road before. Yeah, I remember. Gee, when was that? And then you remember. And so now you're not just driving down the road now. You're driving down the road then, too, which is okay, you guess, but it sure ain't like driving down the road just thinking about driving down the road. But you figure that's okay, and you'd be right, except here comes that turn. And even though now it's not where you're headed, it was back then. And so now you've got to decide, because you were kind of getting used to driving and thinking about now, and driving and thinking about then, and maybe you're even enjoying thinking about then more. So when you arrive at the turn, well, you take it. And now, well, you're no longer thinking about driving now and thinking about driving then. No, you're only thinking about driving then. Like you left now behind when you took that turn, and all you got now is then. And you sort of think, well, maybe that's not so bad, or at least it wouldn't be so bad if you knew you could get back to now. But you're not so sure, because you're not thinking about driving now. You're thinking about driving then. And for the life of you, try as you can, you just can't remember. How did I get from then to now? And you realize suddenly, in a very scary moment, you don't remember. And maybe even worse than that, you got this feeling that you won't ever remember.
I appreciate being seen. Yeah. Thanks. It's good to be seen. And thank you to Velvet Moon. You guys were incredible. And if you're not here again, I will literally cry. So, yeah. And thank you for being your family. That's so amazing. There's not enough kids who come here. I'm like, are we scary or something? Is it the big black curtain? No, I think it's amazing. And I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as everyone else. Next up is Angela. Welcome to the stage.
I was telling Robyn I kind of accidentally haven't been here in like 2 months, so. I don't know how that happened. Time flew by in a really weird way, but I'm happy to be here. I'm just gonna play one song because I didn't really practice, and I ate a big dinner and I'm really tired. I played this song for a couple people recently, and they both told me it should be called something other than what I was calling it, which I'm fine with because I didn't like what I was calling it. So I guess this is called The Weight of Hello. The Weight of Hello. Unclench the jaw of the mouth that speaks softly. Release the claw in the back of the poor tortured soul. It's not funny, but no one is laughing. Search the whole world for the right words to say. But why say a thing when no one wants to hear it anyway? It's so silly, such boring mistakes. Oh, but try patience forever if it takes. worked a long time ago. Practice conversations alone till the air leaves the room like a limp balloon. Maybe sometime the first try will be the only try. Maybe soon, but have patience. Try patience. Sound tumbles out, then the feeling arrives. What happens next always seems to be a surprise. It's a pity. Just tear out the page. Oh, but try patience. Thanks.
Ethereal that leaves you wanting more, too. It's just like one song sets. Breaking my heart. It's okay. That was beautiful, Angela. I always love when you're here. It's like very fortuitous, too, because I'm often not here. So thanks for coming. You knew. We just we communicated it. I'm glad. There was a pull. Help me welcome our next performer to the stage, Bruce.
So I'm going to promote my wife, Joanne, because... So she actually, I don't know if you can see this, but she did this just in COVID. This was, you haven't done this in a while, right? The calendar. But Joanne did this incredible drawing. But if you're in Saugerties and you're walking in the village, look in the windows, because there are drawings in about 10 different stores that she did, up through Poetry Month. Going down to Horatio Street. I'm going down to Horatio Street with a rope, lasso a light fixture, string my neck up, let the rope go. I want to die on Horatio Street. May my soul find rest there among the old bricks and smells of long ago horses and gentler times. The deep healing of history's long hands. The rising of my friends to greet me in heaven. But I ain't going there permanently, no, just visiting, things to do, places to travel to, friends to pat on the back. Far from dead, just pretending to be dead, getting some shut-eye, doing the stop the heart trick, saving on energy, no pulse. Ha, fooled all of you, great. Ever hear me whistle? Some Gershwin tune, some Charlie Parker tune, some Beethoven tune? Beep, beep, move. Please move, get out of my way. I'm going to Horatio Street. Don't care what time of the morning it is. Don't care about your apologies. Don't care about your regrets. When I get there, I'm going to cook some chicken on a couple of sticks pressed together, creating fire. Offer you some. And the dead of Horatio Street, the long dead of Horatio Street. The word, the storm, the trouble. The word, the storm, the trouble. She looked left and the sky fell down. The wind shifted and small mercurial stars shone in the sky. I sat down and wrote a fairy tale. I thumped my foot up and down till umbrellas flew into the sky like javelins and applauded till the roof caved in from envy. The word, the storm, the trouble. When Nancy shifted her opinions, I laughed as loud as 1,000 thundering trucks. I jabbed the stupid guy with a cheap pen. I implicated my brother in an ancient tale of woe. The word, the storm, the trouble. Poems with big ambitions bore me, she said. They tangle in barbed wire and get caught up in alibis and politicians selling us down the road. Damnation, a step away from the swimming hole. The word, the storm, the trouble. Anxiety sometimes pulled him across the room like a magnet. The wind turns around and he sits looking out at the sea. The wood, the word, the storm, the trouble. Who is Steve D? Who is Steve D? He's a midget with the circus. He's a member of the intelligentsia. He's a fast-talking Jew from Brooklyn. He's a gymnast spinning in circles. He's a dock worker without qualms. He's a pencil pusher extraordinaire. He's a red wagon beeping. He's a marshmallow burnt to a crisp. He's a provincial stalwart of the blues. He's a drama queen searching for Pax Romana. He's a dark cloud brushing the sky. He's a brown dot bleeding into the carpet. He's a courageous bug. He's a loose screw in a small building. He's a bright smile in a hard rain. He's a confrontation that rages out west. He's a dominant eighth note in a tumultuous symphony. He's a bruised arm in a wrestling match between fools. He's a brilliant companion on a very circuitous route. He's a visitor wearing goggles in the dark. He's a mysterious query in the daily news. He's a brittle man hiding from a long handshake. He's a reflection in the broken mirror. He's a ton of dynamite sleeping it off. He's a million rocks splitting asunder. And I'll finish with this. When we met at a cute little bar down the street, you ate soup. I drank a tequila Sunriser 3. I was all in with that. It made me feel agreeable. Even the drunk guy up front who made the mistake of driving saw I was in the right place. The terminology may change, but we enjoyed the libations. The lottery is huge. They spin the wheel. It's major if it stops on something under 7. I bet the house it will. I'll Google bet the house and stumble, a little tipsy but still belonging to the humane race. I'll never cherish a cat or a dog. A couple of years I did that and appreciate the consequences. It's 48 every time I play. That's a winner if you're dreaming. Today was like San Francisco. Seals at the harbor, stillness on the bottom floor, giant clams dancing the tango. When we got there, the marina was dazzling. We're heading for dinner, but first, I'm going to double check the wind chill. Thank you.
What was the first one called again?
Ratio Street, Going Down to the
Yeah, that one was one of your best ones I've heard in quite a while. The beep really got me. I felt the beep. I literally felt myself stop breathing for a second. Thank you. All of them were amazing. The last one also really incredible. Your visuals are there, and just the cohesion of your, your lines and stuff. It was really great. Thank you. Next up, we have kind of a wild card here because Bruce forgot to write down Joanne's name. But next up is Joanne Pagano-Weber. Welcome to the stage.
I pulled this up because at the moment we're in, it seems all the more relevant, but, reading it over, it feels now like a fairy tale. This is called Ancestor Song. It had been years since the gods forged the bones of their hands too large for their small, lean frames. Years since their faces bore the mirthful squint of the naked sun bounding over clay roofs and Appian fields. And it had been years since they arrived in boats, stories bundled on their backs like gold sifted through volcanic soil or caught in nets amongst the fishes of the Mediterranean. Stories intoned like silken prayers to the pregnant Madonna, birthing wheat and strong sons. Stories that put iron in their blood and bound them upright like bundles of straw when the history of a people was the price of food, clothing, and shelter. It had been years since they died and gave birth in the same attic room under the surveillance of plaster saints and the protection of amulets, relics, and the Virgin against the devil. It had been years since they fought on their brother's soil in World War I, crying in death for the same Madonna. It had been years since they felt the steel-tipped boot of the assimilated immigrant police. Years since they broke bones to claim a corner they could freeze and starve in. Years since black wool absorbed the olive sweat of scaffolds and gutters. And years since they wept in gratitude at the blood-soaked feet of Jesus. It had been years since the streets trembled like the roots of springtime, with the pounding feet of the tarantella, with songs of virgins wakened in their beds, carried off by lovers to the cypress tree. And under banners of peppers and grapevines, they multiplied and prospered and lost everything in the crash of 29. It had been years since New Yorkese replaced the poetry of bells chiming upon ruined temples and boats rocking in canals and grottos. Years since syllables sputtered across picket lines like angry cannon. The opera of crushed skulls exploding in an orchestrated roar over waterfronts and alleyways. And dark men in gray shirts with pension plans lined up behind wheels and wheels of trucks. Great-grandfather, silent under glass, remote behind ram's eyes set like onyx in your bronze-jawed face. Great-grandmother, obscure as arable soil between the rocks where your maiden name was buried, as one, uttering the burnished shape of our descent. Thanks, guys. I do want to make a shameless plug for Dialogues for the Ear and Eye, which is a series, an art series that my husband Bruce, who you just heard before, and I curate. We always invite a visual artist, a writer, and a musician to come and perform, and we have a very brief open mic because we focus on the features, and then at the end of the night we have an open discussion, question, answer, and it's really fun. And the next one is going to be May 6th, and we're going to have Nina Schengold, visual artist Jen Hicks, multi-dimensional artist actually, and the guitarist, avant-garde guitarist Jim Yanda. So I hope you all can make it. And don't forget Poetry in the Windows in Saugerties for the last couple of days that you can catch those poems in the windows all about town by local poets. Philip is one, my husband is one. Okay, thank you so much, guys. The dialogues, oh, right, you need to ask that question, right? Okay, so guys, May 6th, 7 to 9 p.m., at the 9W Diner. That's easy to remember, 9W Diner. Okay, thanks so much, everybody.
I love your scarf. It's such a good scarf. But that was really beautiful. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and it feels very apropos, especially when we have like the Gestapo driving around and just like taking people off the streets right now. This is America. It's nice here. Help me welcome our next performer to the stage, Christina.
I don't know how ethereal this will be. I'm kind of heavy-footed, and I don't know that you'll want more, but we'll go with it. I am a Taurus. My birthday's in a week. You guys seem like an astrology crowd, so I'll mention that. Thank you. I am only slightly flipping out about it. It's okay. But this is comedy, I guess, because comedy is like poetry except when you and your mom hate each other. It's a little like that. So I have been freaking out a lot because of the aging thing. I'm about to be 35. It only gets worse, I realize. That's fun. Did everyone have a good Easter? If we're into that kind of thing. I like a resurrection arc, why not? You know, it feels very Bravo reality TV to me. If anything else, I like that. It was the first Easter that I spent trying to sell my eggs for cash. It was great. They came back and were like, ma'am, you are fried. You're overcooked. And I was like, oh, I was hoping you'd say over medium because I am just a week shy of 35. And they were like, just try over. Okay, that's pretty much where I'm at with that. I don't know how we make our money now. I don't know. There's a lot of talk culturally about being back in recession. Different recession indicators are making the rounds again. You know, red Solo cups, Country Grammar, the album, Nellyville, I'll take either. Get me to God's Country Grammar, you know what I mean? As much as I enjoy club tunes of the early aughts, I also feel like there's a recession indicator that's being overlooked, and I just want to throw it out there because we never know what's coming back down the pike, you know what I know? I just want to throw out there getting cheated on the old-fashioned way. Do you guys know what a hey girl text is? I'm not sure how to read this room, but basically TikTok has invented this fun Gen Z thing of like, hey, we're dating the same person, but like girls first, and we trust one another, and like we're a secret spy network, and your ex Brandon was at KFC with this other girl last night, and he doesn't want to marry you at all, and there's just a lot of like inter-girl networking, which I appreciate, but it is new. And I know this because we used to get cheated on all the time, okay? But it was mostly a carnal knowledge of convenience. Like right now, like the lights are down, that's good. That's go time, you know? That's where you get your opportunities in. And then if there was a suspicion, there was a certain protocol you'd have to follow. Like you'd never find anyone online and network that way, right? You could never. We were all trying to preserve the like respective sanctity of our own top eights. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of bridge to burn unless you know how to like HTML code. You know what I mean? No one was going back on that in public. So nefariously on the DL, we would all be in the club and you'd see the girl that you thought your boyfriend was cheating on you with or you're, you know, a friend of, and you'd follow her to the bathroom and you guys would do coke together. That is how you got to the bottom of this. You got in the same coke circle, okay? You line danced together a little bit. And then when you were like good and buzzed together, you press her for information. Now, I don't know if Gen Z is here, but I will just explain real quick. You did have to start with a compliment always, and that is to throw them off their game. Why? Because we hate each other. Obviously, we're going to compliment each other. I didn't make the rules. That's just how it works. And so, you know, start under the guise of introducing yourselves and becoming friends, and you vibe a little bit, like Ludacris is on in the background, blaring pretty nice. And then, but because cocaine is so focusing, you really do have to like keep them on their toes. So you'll hit them with a few hard questions, and then you compliment again, okay? It's a back and forth. The parallels to Abu Ghraib, I'm now realizing with the music, especially in the background, they're going noted, okay? This is the old school way that we did things. But you probably shouldn't take relationship advice from me. I'll say that. I've been in one for 10 years. It is not so much a milestone as it is a sentence. Do you know what I mean, guys? Like, I'm blowing him. Here's what's happening. I'm blowing him. He thinks we're bonding. I'm just trying to get out on good behavior. It's one of those scenarios that we're in. And I don't know why. We just want different things, Like, I don't think I can have kids, for example. That's not a medical statement. That is just like a labia crossed kind of situation. And so, listen, I keep trying to find my biological clock. I really do, you guys, okay? I promise there's effort going in. It's just who put all these wire hangers in the way? You know what I mean? That's messy. Who put those there? We can't have that. I did recently find the upper limit of my maternal instinct, and that is not finding Timothée Chalamet hot. I don't know who he's for. Who is getting wet for that? It's like prepubescent girls, postmenopausal women. It seems like a dry fan club is all I want to say. But my maternal instinct comes from the fact that, like, if you do look at him, he's still rocking that, like, NYU mono look pretty hard. That little vape guppy, you know what I mean? Like, I feel tender in a way. I do just want to, like, breastfeed him iron supplements. Like, I think that's what I could do for him, if nothing else. If he doesn't want me, that's fine. I'll just do some admin work, like gatekeep the girls he's dating, make sure they're up to date on their shots. Like, Kylie, Botox is fine, but where are your Gardasil papers? I will also need those. You know what I mean? I don't know why I feel that way, you guys. My parents didn't do anything wrong, by the way. I know you can't tell from looking at me or me being up here saying this shit, but, like, goddamn, they were objectively pretty great. It is tough. It's tough to know what to do with that, My real issue with them was transitioning off their health insurance when I was 26. Like, that was the big, like, oh my God, what if scenario. I never found out what to do with that, except that now when I have sex with the guy, I do have to call him out-of-network provider just to keep the exploitation kink going. You know what I mean? This is where I'm at. I don't know. It's a lot to think about. I don't know. My algorithm, I'm always interested in people's algorithms. I want to know what yours look like. Mostly I want to know if yours is like mine. My Instagram ads are two things. Bougie girl boss beverages, okay? That's how I know sexism is real, by the way. Because every ad that I get for like some like beveragino in the lady space, they gave us that now. It's great. It's probably like 85 cents to every dollar on the can. It has to be like a no additive, all natural, prebiotic, probiotic, like low sugar, low calorie drink, right? That also cures like 7 other things. And then that one liquid death billionaire just put water in a can and became fucking explosive and just made his money. That tracks. My algorithm also thinks that I got assaulted in an Uber. Is anybody else getting these? I really need to know. Like, I'm taking a poll currently. I keep getting ads that are like, financial compensation may be available if you've been assaulted in an Uber. I don't know if it thinks that I have or if it wants me to be. The jury's still out. I really can't tell with my AI. But you gotta know those stats are bad, right? If I'm getting those ads, like, those numbers are not good. And I'm no PR firm, but I think I've come up with a solution, kind of, maybe. It should just be an in-app feature. Do you guys know how you can pick, like, talking, no talking to the driver? It should be rape, no rape. You just toggle over. And look, I know that's dark as fuck, okay? I understand it, but it's a reality of the world, and I know because I'm getting the ads. So how do we solve this exactly? All right, and it's progressive, hear me out, because if you think about it, it's really joining the like rapists with the rape fantasists, and you know what that toggle is consent, you guys. So I think it'll work out. I don't know, listen, I don't go to therapy, I'm too poor. So now instead of therapy, I just have to take like online quizzes, personality quizzes. Again, I'm almost 35. I'm a child of BuzzFeed, regrettably. So this is what I do with my time, and I'm never quite sure if I'm like an introvert or an extrovert. Even now, this is confusing, I'm sure. Like, we're all in this. We all see this. I'm not really sure where I fall on that. It's always somewhere in between. Introvert, extrovert, pervert. I do get that one pretty consistently, I'm happy to say, but maybe I should expand into regular therapy. Here's my thing about therapy, though. therapists, they're just so condescending. I can't get over it, you know? It's like, okay, you contemplate suicide, I analyze it. Fuck you, Susan, okay? You can say that from your side of the couch, but let's go up to the roof. Bet. We'll see who jumps first, okay? You know what I mean? Put my money where your mouth is. So I don't know. I've yet to figure that out. I really am into marriage counseling, though, if anything. Like, I know I'm such a winner for marriage, the lucky guy. I don't know. I don't know that that's my thing, but marriage counseling is more than anything, because I just like that if you get to a fragile point in your relationship where you don't match any values with this person you've been with over time, you get to share a matching middle-aged woman. I like that a lot. Here's another last point that I'll leave you guys with. I realize that when you go to a marriage counselor, if your wife sets you up with a marriage counselor ever, it better be a female. I've never met a woman, okay, that was like, I know how to solve this, the opinion of a second man. At that point, you're just carpool, and wifey's trying to fuck you guys. You got to get out of there. Thank you very much.
What a genius. So don't downplay that. That was so flawless, and I don't know how you did that. And I kind of don't want to know, because it seems kind of scary. So next up is Gabe.
That's perfectly fine. How are we doing out there? I'm gonna be up front. I am so worried about how this is gonna go over with you guys. First and foremost, I didn't know this was an art gallery. I would have dressed differently. I look like your sister's boyfriend Kyle, who's addicted to Vicodin. I look like the guys that drink the white monster. No, this is not good. No. Secondly, I saw there was a 5-year-old out there before, and I was like, all right, I need to rework everything I was about to do. That's probably for the better. I know she's not here now, but I don't think you guys would have liked the set I came with. But, Robyn, you were talking about you've had a bit of like writer's block this month, and everything you've just been writing shitty poems. That's kind of where I'm at. I've just been writing shitty jokes. Can I share one of my shitty jokes with you guys? I love bananas. I'm a big banana guy. Relatable. Is this relatable? No. Big banana guy, but I'm a bit of a weirdo. I like my bananas how I like my women. Bruised. And occasionally in my ass. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't like bananas. No. No, my cousin used to babysit Dakota Johnson of 50 Shades of Grey fame, which me and my family used to debate whether that means he did a great job or quite possibly the worst job of all time. That was a successful movie, so we settled on he did a good job, right? And then last year we saw Madam Web and we were like, never mind, he did a terrible job. But I've always thought that must have been a real dilemma for my cousin when 50 Shades came out. Because if you're him, sure, you want to be supportive, right? But also, do you think you could watch that movie? Sitting there in a dark theater like, yeah, I remember when I used to push her on the swings. Harnesses, she's still doing harnesses, okay. I'll say this about 50 Shades. It used to bug me when I'd see people reading that out in public. So they could do that, but I get caught watching porn at the park one time and I get banned? Uh-huh. That's a joke, guys. I'm kidding. I never got caught. I got let go from my job this month. It's been a weird month. Yeah. One day out of the blue, manager just pulls me aside and says, "I'm sorry, Gabe. You're just not quite Duncan material." That might be the meanest thing someone's ever said to me. Like, she could have called me like the worst things in the world, like a racial slur, and I would have been like, I would have been preferable. That was rough. But part of why I got let go though was I was writing jokes on the job. So can I share some of those jokes with you guys? Cool. All right, you're a poetry crowd. So you guys familiar with Chinese Buddhist proverbs? Let me give you an example of one. So like a good one that I love is the journey of 1,000 miles The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. It's beautiful, right? It got me thinking, what do you think an American proverb is? Just like a deep Southern guy, like, I'm not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time. It's like, you have congestive heart failure. We know you're not here for a long time, dude. Only God can judge me. You sure? Because you lost custody of both your kids. A literal judge judged you. He doesn't think you're a good guy. I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that this room is not fond of Elon Musk. Right? People will tell me you shouldn't make fun of Elon Musk. That's not right. He's autistic. So's everybody nowadays. So, secondly, he's a Nazi. Which I will say this: an autistic Nazi is kind of fun to think. He's an autistic Nazi. He's altruistic. All right, you guys didn't enjoy that part. That's fine. Here's another part you're not going to enjoy. Did you guys know that? Did you know that you can get a Tesla now for like $5,000? The catch is that there's a swastika carved into the side of it, which is a good deal for me because that decal usually costs me an extra $1,000. Told you. No, because I'm now on this. I know obviously this political stuff, and I don't trudge on that topic. Can I be honest with you guys? I'm going to admit something here today. I didn't vote. I've never voted. And yeah, people hear that and they get really upset with me, and they tell me that's disrespectful to democracy and it's disrespectful to your country. And that's where I try to let them know, you got the wrong idea. You got it all wrong. I love our country. I love democracy. That is exactly why I do not vote. I'm not an intelligent man, if you couldn't tell to this point. I didn't know that soup du jour meant soup of the day. And that should have been like a 2-time occurrence thing. No, I'm 24 years old, and for years now, I have been ordering soup du jour at different restaurants. Careful. I've been ordering soup du jour at different restaurants, befuddled each time. Like, why does this taste different at every place? Why can't I get one consistent soup du jour anywhere I go? The point I'm trying to make is, do you want me deciding your elected officials? Thank you, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate it.
It's nothing you want to eat because it's all the old stuff that they're trying to get rid of before it gets moldy, or at least too moldy to cook and serve. Help me welcome our next performer. Who was it? I was thinking about gross old food working in restaurants.
Hold each other close. The other, my brother, longing for his mother while he sleeps inside her. Is this a good key, or can I put it up a little bit? Can I put it up like a full step? Yeah, is that okay? Okay, I'm gonna take it up a step actually. It'll be like nothing ever happened.
parted lips, the songs of joy, the cries of grief. As you unfold and unfold again, echoes of awakening, the songs you wrote, scattered away. As you come as yourself, exactly as you are. As you are, come as yourself, exactly as you are. Your feet, your hands, your fingertips, your open arms, beckoning, your eyes held high to see the sky. Your belly folds, your messy hair, your hips are churning everywhere. Your lungs, your voice caress the air. As you come as yourself, exactly as you are. As you are, come as yourself, exactly as you are. Thank you. And thanks everyone who's performed. I laughed, I cried, I hummed along. It's been really great. Thank you, everybody.
I'm not gonna be weird right now, but I am kinda. I just read your last name. You write for the Kingston Wire?
Huh?
You write for the Kingston Wire?
Oh yeah, I do, yeah.
I work for them.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
And Olivia does too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh nice. Cool.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
I do. I have a blog.
I know.
No,
I've been working to them. I'm like, I'm not even gonna be like, I totally know.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
Yeah.
too.
My name's Robyn.
Robyn. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's crazy.
I feel like I never meet people in person because
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Well, you have great opinions. I appreciate you always standing up for everyone.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah. Guys, I'm a journalist. It's kind of crazy. And stupid. But worth it, right? We need local news. It's super important, and I love the Kingston Wire. I mean, people give it a lot of crap, but you know what? We do a good job, and we're real people. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. You're looking at him right now. You're looking at 3 amazing people who work for this local news organization, and yeah, we're probably the only females. So that's one thing, but we're working on it. Yeah. So that was most of our open mic list. Most of our open mic list. We have 2 more performers left. One of them is Summer. So welcome to the stage, Summer.
I have 2 old. I wasn't going to read anything today, and then people started talking about moms and politics. So I'm going to read you 2 poems. They're both old. I'm sorry, but they are edited. So they're kind of new if you consider revision the creation of new documents. And I was also going back and forth with myself about whether or not I should read political stuff. And then I was like, it's not fair that this even is political stuff. So I'm going to read it, and you have to listen. I guess you don't, but you should. So this is called My Mother's Hair, Sha'ru Ummi. Through the screen, I see the video of the little Arab girl crying, Hiye, hiye, it's her. I recognize her by her hair. I think of my mother's thick, curling hair. I can't live without her, she cries through grief-stricken, exhausted and anxious eyes. Ya mama, yamma. I want to see her. Ya mama. My mother's hair is thick and brown curls tied into a rubber band. Ya mama. My mother's hair is blow-dried straight. Her highlights bring the sun into the room. It frames her olive face and her 2 heterochromic eyes, one blue and one brown, half jiddo and half teta. She blows and blows to hide the curls, but they frizz and fray. They refuse to stay. Ya mama, my mother's hair is my hair, but better, thicker and stronger. My hair is a cheap imitation, a reflection in Perseus's reversed shield. My mother's hair is Medusa. Ya mama, my mother's hair is white and coiling. She cuts and cuts, but it grows like a weed. It shimmers in the sun like strands of moonlight. It clings to my shirts and cushions, spider webs of glimmering reminders. Yabba, you don't come from nowhere. You come from love and blood and tears and sand and dirt and heat. Uqamar ushams. Ya mama, yamma, lesh yamma. I see them. They're gone, but I see them, the little girl cries. And I'm crying with her, Yamma, ya mama, oh mother, oh mama. I recognize her by her hair. I want to see her. I can't live without her. Alhamdulillah, I am among the lucky. The video loops and loops, and as if psychic, she calls. I want to call the little girl, but she's only a face, a flickering image on a screen, a simulacra of the sweating, sobbing, bleeding, screaming person somewhere a jump across the border of the place we call home. She is legion, and my voice feels so small. Ya mama, oh mama. Like her mother's lifeless body, I lock my screen and turn away from her, abandoning that little girl that looks like me, like my cousins, to her dusty, bloody, terrifying life. Somebody wrote somewhere that poems aren't finished, they're abandoned, but we, you and I, nahnu, ana, we have been tasked with the enormous burden of witnessing, and my words remember. Thank you. See what I mean? It's annoying that that one's political. It feels like it should not be considered political at all, but whatever. Dead moms is a political thing now, so here we are. This one's vaguely political but funnier, so I'll end with it. This is called NSA. A couple of you have heard this, I'm sorry, but I did edit it. I wonder what my NSA agent thinks when he sees me cry for the 4th time in a day. He, she, they? I always assume a he. Surveillance feels like such a masculine thing to do. Super scopophilic. Do you think he's embroiled in my family dramas? Booed when, as a 19-year-old basement-dwelling flop, my stepmom dragged me by my throat like she did when I was 9? A factoid he would know because he listens to my weekly Zoom therapy sessions. Cheered when I celebrated a year sober, 8, almost 9 now, got a master's. Do you think he's rooting for me to get into the PhD programs I applied to? Update, I did, the top choice, thank you. Or that he wonders at how thin I try to spread myself thin, so thin, thin enough to just disappear. Surely he doesn't want that. What would he have to watch? At least with me, he gets periodic binges of crap TV that plays at full volume while I try to edit papers or grade or write syllabi or do anything. I wonder if I'm a full-time job. I am an Arab after all, learning Arabic, traveling to the Middle East, talking about Palestinians and how they shouldn't be bombed to death. I don't know. Do you think my NSA agent is glad I caved and got on medication after my depression got so bad that I couldn't even think straight? Do you think he thinks it's a good idea to add an SSRI? Update, I did, and it was. They just doubled my dose, thank you. I'm worried I'll gain more weight. I didn't so far, knock on wood. I wish I could get his input. I wish anyone understood me as well as my NSA agent. Unspoken, nothing need be said. He just knows. Maybe he hates me, wants to throw me in Gitmore or Guantanamo. Update, or now we have the mega prison in El Salvador. Maybe they'll send me there, who knows? We're illegally deporting people there anyway. But he understands me nonetheless. Understanding seems to be the thing that everyone is incapable of. I'm guilty too. Do you think my NSA agent understands? Why doesn't he send flowers on Valentine's Day or chocolates on my birthday? Does he even care? Guys, do you think he even likes me? What are we? I really want to ask. What do you think my NSA agent thinks when he watches me cry for the 4th time in 12 hours after sleeping for 10 and not eating for 14? I think if he cared, he'd pick up my new medication and drop it on the front porch. Then I'd know someone's devoted or, at the very least, paying attention. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Help me welcome our next cryptic performer, Robyn.
That's great. Thanks, Summer. It's good to hear all those updates on the second one, even though I already knew all of them. Yeah. And I don't think I've ever heard the first one before.
Really?
No, I don't think so. I love you. I love you. I just am admiring you. Sorry, I was getting entranced. I have a few poems today. I know I said I haven't been writing much, but for me, not writing much is writing like 1 or 2 poems a week that I'm proud of. The rest of them I just throw in the garbage. But first, I'm gonna read a really short excerpt from a poem to you guys from this book that I just finished, War of the Beasts and the Animals by Maria Stepanova, this poet I've been introduced to recently, and I'm like, I really like her. I'm not like enthralled by her, but I really like her. She is a Russian poet, and she was commissioned to write 2 of the poems that are in this book. They're both like 40 pages long, and they're all about being a proletariat. And I mean, I guess just like the politics of Russia in general. And also just like so much more than that. They're really beautiful, and it's crazy that like people pay for poetry still. So I really liked this one part of this poem. This is from the poem that the book is named after, The War of the Beasts and the Animals. There's no title. I mean, that is the title. It's just a part of that poem. running on our last legs across the prone empire along the longest drags. The tundra is never ending, the dogs bark never ending, the watchman is stood unbending, though his job is dead ending. The curses are never ending, the journey is never ending, the heavenly valley sounding with machine gun fire resounding from where the firmament is bending and the body feels its own ending, but it's like it's been ground to a shaft and tastes in the throat like a laugh, tickling, distending, a kind of happy ending, and running to the ground seems a lot like lying down. Thanks. Just like really hit. And I had to share. There's also this like beautiful picture of her on the back. I just love that. Like, why don't we do that more? Let's include pictures of our poets, please. I have a few poems. I'm just like procrastinating reading them. I guess the first one is kind of political. So I guess trigger warning? I don't know. If you guys are triggered by politics, GTFO. Okay, this one's called Tattered. I turned my head up to your furrowed brow, small iconoclastic creature, yet larger than me, who seems smaller than all. Lips peppered with graham cracker dust, or is it peach fuzz, corn kernel husks? Or are you the last droplets of rain gracing my cheeks on an April morning, ascending 1,000 feet and never once falling? I make time for siesta and sip lukewarm, bitter coffee, placing puppets on my paper pinchers, puckered and all. You ask, when will the sky cease to be so gray? I say sun is coming next week. You say no, the forecast is all rain and snow, and I say, oh, really? Yet on this rainy Saturday, I keep warm with Janae and Mayakovsky, the seeds of revolution trickling, menstrualed out of me. And, my love, don't your shoulders itch at sight of rainbow peeking through these gray skies? Don't those jutting cheekbones of ocean devour what's left of our insides? It's these moments of early spring, idioted, as Malay would say, that I flip through thin biblical pages of sacrilegious Soviet hymns. As I in my heart never saw March's respite, only April's immature slovenliness. And I will use these hands as my father uses his heart and my mother her feet to throttle the necks of fascists or carve these naked fingers of my poems of grief and delight, to spread my word of one girl's poetic revolution, tossed and tattered like wind-torn flags against all water's holiness. And still it is raining, and still the rich grow richer, so much is still the same. Yet this yearning yoked to my winged and weighted back has tossed me into your arms again. And clothed, reeking of morning, I release my revolutionary spite. For in these moments, sun breaks through thick sheet of cloud, sun casting shadow upon the whole of me, whose vain glory, tender yet boring, heals nonetheless. And through these tattered white openings, I spot a haze of blue, shifting relentlessly like the red I exude. Thanks. I have one more. I kind of have two more, but I don't know if I'll subject you to that. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. Faceless voice in the crowd. I wrote these next 1/2 for this reading I was invited to perform at this weekend. It's an Earth Day reading, so they're like Earth Day inspired. Well, the theme for the reading was alien landscapes / unknown terrains. So I kind of tried to channel that in these poems. This is the one that I didn't decide to include in the reading because they told me I only had 5 minutes and I wrote 2, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to cancel one, so you guys are getting it. Okay, this is called I Open the Door. I open the door for him. He takes a few precarious steps, looks slowly left, slowly right. It's dark and the crickets have finally emerged from their winter slumber. The air is dense with coming summer, days spent sweltering and exhausted in front of the AC. For as long as I can think of this, he hasn't moved, waiting, statuesque, for something to happen. The dips and pebbles littering the stone pathway are sensations new to his hardwood understanding of ground, and the air is perfumed with hyacinth and lilac, even as night swells around his white halo of a body. After assessing that his coast must surely be clear, he takes another few timid steps, still unsure of what to make of these sights and sounds that once felt so removed, as if the window was his televised entertainment each day, but existed on an entirely different plane of existence. Not so far away now, it seems. I urge him to explore, to walk into spiderwebs and small puddles pockmarking the landscape, but he'd rather melt into his surroundings by embodying stillness, and folding into himself like tulips and lilies at night, with colors like tuna belly and robin breasts. And just as he's about to break his stationary fast, the taunting growl of machine from a distance, but close enough to incite terror, and he bolts indoors, where it is safe and warm, tail between his legs, the denouement in his maiden voyage. Heart-pounding catastrophe into his chest, a moment of paralysis waiting for the lunge of his manifestation to rip at his neck, but all is silent. All is silent again. His head peeks around the corner of the door, looks slowly left, slowly right. Machine has gone, terror seemingly averted, although he must think it was a close one. The door is open, the world is waiting. He senses an apprehension, or rather a tension in the air, building towards something definite. I keep silent nearby, waiting to be passive in his experience as he decides his next moves. They, too, come with heightened timidity, and I remember the first time my father took his hands off the handles of my bike, or the first time I walked through a patch of poison ivy. Sometimes we must learn the hard way, biting the bullet and jumping the gap even if doubt creeps up fervently. My legs, blistered, scraped, oozing clear liquid or red trailing down them like the horizontal slashes on the wall of my childhood bedroom. Each I stood under and waited until I sprouted taller, though I never understood what I was growing towards till later. Running through wooded trails, thighs and calves hardening like the rocks I used to propel me further, leaping stone to stone like some amphibian, heading towards what? I wouldn't know till later. By now it is pitch black and bugs silently swarm around our guiding light, which he pays no mind to, preferring a good stare into the oblivion, a good long stare, waiting for the world to jump out at him. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, that one was about my cat. Yes, he's a little prince. I mean, if you met this cat, you'd be like, this is not real. He shouldn't exist. And he really shouldn't. I mean, he's kind of crazy. All right, I'm going to read this last one. You guys better get over it. Yeah, so if you happen to be around Sunday and want to come to the Red Fox Ravine around 4:20, I will be reading this again. It's a land preserve in Kingston. It's hosted by the Kingston Land Trust. I was invited by a good friend of mine. Summer's also going to be there, so yeah, you definitely should come. Okay, this is called Blistered Venus. Cogged in temporal and meaning deficient score of societal uncertainty, I woke up into world ravished by electronics, engineered by minds malaligned that crave euphoria, rushed under rivers on plastic seats holding many bodies without leaving trace, only Olympic gold dust falling from faces, faces that digest with hardly any progress. Reflections of some vast understanding of experience that is hyper-normal and never sticks. What is more alien than concrete? More alien than bleacher potted plants, the iridescence of gasoline, trail markers, curbs, fencing, whether wooden or steel, brick homes or stone homes with paved fucking lawns, glass we peer out of, glass we peer into, benches next to rivers and wrappers floating downstream. How far have we come, world filled equal parts hope and hate? How far have we come from primal and primitive glory, survival of strength, recording stories to last millennium, when nothing was yours or mine and we did not classify by power of poison coursing through human veins, when all was untainted and forests contained no invasives, as all belonged and wasn't worshipped and didn't ask to be. I see a shadow of that world before me. A world so alien, I am unsure if I am human or just another product, whether to be sold or marketed or profited off of. A blistered Venus, bathing in solar warmth, running past cracks in concrete and crumbled remains of domicile left to ruin and be devoured, earth creeping up to regain what has been stolen, and I search for anything untouched, but even gardens are covered in our oils and spittle. An off-beaten path in wooded silence. I hear a train horn blare in the distance. Thanks. Thank you. And that's it. I mean, period. That is it.
So we're done.
Yeah, thank you
It's
all
over.
for coming. Thank you, Cole, for performing. You were wonderful. Yes, another round of applause. Once again, she is selling her book. Just putting that out there. And you should keep up with her on social media. I mean, I think her social media is just cole.solis.shativa, right? Yeah, okay. She's got business cards. Come on. I don't even need to do this. She's done my work for me. And yeah, if you want to check out the recording of this open mic / event, you can go to the Greenkill Sessions YouTube page, where it will be posted soon, and also check out the Greenkill Substack page to learn about the more going on here.
Literally the more.
The more going on here.
David does everything.
Yeah, no, he really does. Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
He hates when I do this.
He does.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
I got no thoughts for you guys. I'm sorry. I'm like empty head today. I'm just here.
Yeah.
It's been lovely. I'm so glad I made the trip. I get in my
Yeah.
car every time and I'm like, I don't want to do this. And then I get here and I'm like, oh, this is the best night ever. I had such a good time.
Yes.
So I'm happy to be here.
And that's all because of you guys.
Yeah, it really is.
Just remind yourself of that.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Thank you guys for coming. White Noise, signing off. Oh, and thank you, Olivia, for taking pictures of everything.